including the pre-show in the actual podcast. I don't know why we're not doing it.
It's something nice for people who actually like watch the show on.
I mean, I guess.
Why is my?
But the pre-show had some of our best bits.
Listen, I might one day cut
Maybe in
out
like
the
a
pre-show.
separate video.
Maybe just like a pre-show thing. But then again, I don't know why I'm even like hitting the record button when freaking every time we do a podcast it takes 12 gigs to even update this. I think I only press the record button and says like, oh, it makes sense, you know. It's a nice cutoff point to like how we start. Anyway, welcome everybody to the Out of Pocket TCG podcast. We are on episode 5, technically episode 6, but I'll explain that in a moment. What's exactly going on there? Happy 2025, everybody!
Oh no!
Yeah, we're still somehow we made it to 2025. God help us all.
I mean, have you checked the news? Something insane seems to keep happening every day of this year so far.
I mean, it happened last year too.
On the daily in January.
Like I remember I watched Tommy NFG's run back of 2024. I'm like, damn, January was stacked. Like, was it January? I'm trying to remember. Was it January or February that Akira Toriyama passed?
Oh shoot, I don't even know.
It was like very early in the year. That's how long it's been. But so anyway, you know, I kind of just like didn't know what to say. Anyway, this week's episode.
Oh god damn it! No, you don't.
Huh?
You're not doing this.
What do you mean? I'm not doing what?
This shit God oh my god.
Merry Christmas, buddy.
Okay. Look, man, I'm already getting ready to crash out at Atlas. Look, you've seen the rumors. I'm ready to blow up at Atlas right now. I'm time for these long RPGs, so I gotta rebuy Metaphor in like a year.
Okay, for everybody who's watching who doesn't know, I timed right at 8 o'clock to give a gift to Zeta, and that gift was an actual copy of the Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak. I have been wanting to have him actually play on stream a Trails game. I gave him Cold Steel 1 like years ago. He barely made it past the first fight area because he was being a whiny baby. So I said, you know what? I want you to play it eventually. So I said, you know what? I was on sale right before the Steam sale went off. I was like, you know what? I didn't get you none for Christmas. So you know what? Here you go. An up-to-date Trails game with probably more combat you will actually enjoy.
See, well, if I knew this was happening, I would have been sending you Megaton Musashi earlier.
And this is exactly why I started the podcast as fast as possible. Because I need to get your reaction on stream.
God. Fine.
I didn't even know you could do gifts, like, you could time gifts. So I was like, oh. Wait. the demons talk to me.
Alright, fine. I'll stream it tomorrow.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, speaking of demons talking to me, Wuthering Waves revealed the character that might actually pull me back into that game.
And then looks like Lita character don't keep pulling me into the game.
Meanwhile, Meanwhile, pulling me out the game is everything Genshin Impact keeps doing. I saw story spoilers. I'm not gonna say it on the podcast, but holy hell, I don't understand why they keep doing this. This they like if I had a nickel for every time they've done this specific thing to the
Are
roster
are they
character.
are they just redeeming another random character who's probably did a whole bunch of messed up stuff 5,000 years ago?
No, let's kind of put it like this. If you know what happened in Inazuma,
Oh, the region that made me drop the game entirely. Yeah,
they basically did that again.
great.
And I'm being as vague as I can
Right, right.
because it's like, that's kind of a big spoiler for both Inazuma and Natlin.
Look, you know my problem with Genshin's story is
The problem with Genshin's story being that they don't know how to tell stories for some reason.
that, and then like we're just all supposed to ignore every single thing said about the Archons, and it's like, man, maybe we should kill these fools. But it's like, no, no, wait. But they're our main headliner wives and husbandos, so they're actually all good. Just ignore all the crazy mess of God stuff they did like before the game started. It's like, no, I want the God Killer arc.
I was just kind of like thinking about like, wait, aren't they all currently just like reincarnations of those guys? Or am I tripping?
No, I don't think.
It's been so long since I've actually paid attention to any Genshin lore. I'm like,
Right, but like there was some crazy Archon War stuff. They destroyed the main human civilization. Yada yada. Kill the gods.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of things. I mean, I can get it. It's kind of like, yeah, y'all should probably all like not be in power, but y'all are so
Right.
powerful that everyone else is like, of course.
And also Mihoyo needs to make $100 million 1 month out of the year.
Yeah. Which, again, I say this because I logged into Wuthering Waves on PS5 because the actual PS5 version came out.
Huh.
And I was like, oh yeah, cool, that's pretty nice. So I put my PC account on PS5 mostly because my PS5 could probably handle Wuthering Waves better than my PC at this current time. So that's one thing. Also, you know that, and it's like, yeah, oh my goodness, I forgot her name, even though she is the entire reason I want this gosh dang game to play again. Uh, Zani. Yeah, Zani. The goat chick. Like, I'm just like, yep, that's an aesthetic I like.
Mm.
Also, another reason I dropped Genshin is because after once again, I I haven't gone into like Genshin just yet, but then I do this and then I actually you know play Nikke again, and it's just like, oh yeah, here's actual good storytelling.
I mean, at least we're not in the other games are in the same place Honkai Star Rail is in, where like half the roster is wearing the exact same outfit.
Yeah, that's mainly because
If
half.
I see one more Jade Beauty in the exact same dress in a different color, I'm done.
Oh man, you know you'll have to wait a
Like
year
there's
for
a
that at least, because
like I had to drop the game, and then yeah, I heard they're going right back there again. It's like, stop.
no, I heard like in 3.0 they said like, yeah, no, everything's gonna be a Trailblaze course in the, I think, in the exact same area. So
Nope, nope, no.
no, I mean in in like space Rome or wherever we are.
Oh, phew.
Yeah.
I
Now
almost thought we were going back to
now
space
that's
China for round two.
now that's one thing. if Space Rome is booty cheeks, that's going to be painful. 7 rounds of a terrible region? Potentially 7 rounds of a terrible region? With bad storytelling and nothing to break it up because we're stuck here?
I am so glad Zenless isn't a region-based game at right now.
Yeah.
It's like, I swear, if we get Urban Fantasy China next patch,
You know it's gonna happen. Eventually.
no, please no.
But yeah, no, yeah, on that update, Nikkei once again proved to me I made the right choice and enjoying that team because I am a very much a fan of storytelling. Okay, so a game that actually has good characters and good storytelling, you know, why on earth would I do it? Why on earth would I not stay there? It helps that
Right.
one of my favorite characters got their upgrade. Like, so that's a bonus too. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good. Favorite character got a top 3 in game character. We're good. And they made quality of life like, oh, those characters that those hard to get characters that are just randomly in the pool you couldn't get before. They made it so now you can actually add them to your wish list, so it increases their rates. So it's like, yeah, quality of life. Eventually, we'll get the Champions Arena for PvP. Eventually.
I am not a fan of gacha game PvP. I am not gonna lie.
I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why they're also they said in like the last big dev update, they're like, we've got it, but we also have another problem of the net code ain't working right. And we want
code, you gotta like
make
sure things are as unwieldy as possible.
Not only that, they also wanted to make it like cross region too with the Champions Arena, because every other arena is just in a specific server, but they want to make it cross server.
Huh.
So that's probably another issue. Is like, how do we do that? And like that's what they say is taking them so long.
Great.
So now that Nikkei is once again taking all my money, I now have to save up for February when they drop Evangelion Part 2. Because that was the thing we got on Christmas Eve. It was like, oh yeah, breaking news. Ava Part 2 happens in February. Good luck, guys. And this time we're going past 2.0.
I swear that's like the rarest thing for every single crossover involving Evangelion. It's like, yeah. Wait,
we're getting Eye Patch Asuka, we're getting Fake Ray, we're getting like literally we're getting Final Battle, the Final Battle 3.0 1.0 suits, plug suits, and we're getting like assuming a gacha skin for the original Ray as well.
Huh,
which is like which is so funny because now it's just like hilarious. Like they had this whole idea probably planned out. They said like when they talked about when Ava results came back, they said it didn't meet it shocked them with how it didn't really meet their expectations. They were talking about like, well, we're gonna make some plays for future collabs and everything, but no. That they're usually done about a year in advance. We did not expect them to be like, because because in the same year we're basically making a sequel. And it's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Why they're also kind of like this, because they're probably like, okay, we got this plan. We cooking, right? Ava's a perfect fit for Nikkei. What we're gonna do? We're gonna add Asuka, right? We're gonna add Rei. Two of the most famous waifus in otaku history, right? Like literally, like
Right.
Asuka is kind of one of the designs for the modern age tsundere. Rei is one of the modern age kuderes. We got the new waifu in Mari. We got Misato. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. That's gonna at least get us at least 20 mil right there. We'll be good. So that even if we do have part 2, that will probably take a hit. But hey, you know what? It's gonna be good. And then they saw those numbers back and they were like, oh, we barely hit 15.
I mean,
And people didn't like it? Oh no. Well, this is gonna make part 2 awkward.
looking at sales chart information is bad for your health, alright? Just ask the Wuthering Waves fan base.
Yeah, I
Oh
mean,
man, it's almost time for 2.0. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. 10 million, 10 million, 10 million. 6 million. Oh.
right before what was it? Right before anniversary, Nikkei hit 8 million, the lowest it's ever hit since launch. But that was right before
Yeah.
anniversary, and then they revealed, oh yeah, we've got 2 characters coming, 2 pilgrims about to drop. It was like, oh god, we gotta save, and they were both good. Then another 2 like gotcha costumes, and it's like, oh, okay, we just gotta hunker down and save money now. But like that's like the only time that's ever happened. But it's not because like, oh, they're whatever. It's just like people were saving. Yeah, I mean that's probably why they revealed immediately after that Celebrity was coming next. Which that's probably gonna happen when they reveal the date for when the PC version comes out. Which, to show you how much they were like, we kind of have to kind of bury this Ava thing. IGN posted the Ava collab trailer.
Yeah.
None of any of Nikkei's socials have posted anything about Evangelion Part 2.
Wow.
IGN did it because they were just like, well, it's just a trailer. We gotta put that out there. Even Nikkei didn't want to put that on there. None of their socials have put it on there. You have to go back to the original live stream to go there.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. It's like they know it's like this is going to be controversial. Let's kind of just like wait till the heat die down, and we actually go when it gets closer. We'll actually like talk about it a little bit more. Which again, I'm going to work on like a script for a video, kind of talking about why those past 2 collabs didn't really work as well as I think shift up planned or like anticipated. Because like you had really the one reason is you had effectively like 3 schoolgirl storylines back to back to back in events. Because first you release Ein, then you immediately release Swy, who was also a terrible unit. And then you have the Ava collab with their team, which is Ein, Swine, and Rei, the penguin girl. And then you're just like, and then people who have never played Evangelion before find out how Asuka really is, and they lose their minds. Because there was like, is this how Asuka's supposed to be? And everyone, yeah, that's Asuka.
Oh no.
It's like, so that's just the whole thing. But I'll cross that bridge when we get there. Anyway, back to the actual topic at hand. The topic for this week's, oh boy, okay. The topic for this week's discussion is going to be, now that 2025 is here, What are our thoughts of the TCG industry going into it? AKA, what premonitions do we got for the industry? What things should happen to make certain games to certain companies should actually do well, right? Going
Oh shit,
forward.
I guess the show got in my pondering or about.
So we're gonna start with the most interesting thing here, which is we're gonna start with like two pieces of news about it, which is one, if I can remember it. The first thing is right now there is no upcoming Yu-Gi-Oh anime. Or rather, there's no announcement for upcoming Yu-Gi-Oh anime.
Woo, that's cool. I'm kidding.
Cause at Jump Festa, and I watched Yu-Gi-Oh Everything's live stream, and boy was not happy. Whew! He was hot in the suit. He had all the people around him, had his team, and he was guys were like, oh, it's gotta be this year, right? It's been 3 years. They've never missed a Jump Festa when a series is at like its third year or its climax year. Like they're going to at least announce or tease something, and we got nothing, except the Yu-Gi-Oh Chronicle series. But that's not exactly what I mean by card game anime, right? It's about
Right.
that's an anime about the lore of a card game, but not a card game anime.
Yeah,
So
you. It's weird.
if Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't really get an announcement, probably like within the next 6 months, it's more likely that Go Rush will be the end of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime in terms of being live long running, which I don't think is gonna happen.
No, I have a theory, right?
Okay.
I mean, they're probably using the GX like rerun to fill for time while they scramble to find another studio to do. Hey, we need someone for a Yu-Gi-Oh show. Like it's a solid piece. We're gonna rerun GX. We're gonna shop around, make sure get another anime into production ASAP. But I don't know what Yu-Gi-Oh's doing, really.
Yeah. So that's just kind of thing. I can only assume they have a plan, but I don't know because this is like unprecedented.
Yeah. I mean, I guess only time will tell, right? But like, I don't think Yugi's in that. No, Yugi's in a weird spot actually. What am I saying?
I mean, it's been at a quiet part ever since Reigns ended.
Right.
Like
But like, and like
every set
retrospective
is
stuff
basically
was
just
not like hyper big.
retrains and alt arts for older cards, right? That's basically what that's basically what Buddy Fight kind of went through. Is like everything is just retrains for classic cards until they just couldn't
Yeah.
do anymore.
I mean, they could have continued Buddy Fight. Like,
Oh, without a doubt, but like I think just the power creep also just got too hard. You didn't have an animated drop, and so probably like sales were going down. Because otherwise, I don't know how you kill Buddy Fight off globally, and yet here you gotta when it's like it should be just only English, but I don't know what happened to be like, oh, Japan gotta go too, and yet here is Thai out here. I don't know if they're doing better, but like they're definitely like they made changes that probably would help a lot of people in understanding what went
right.
wrong.
Like, every time ban all the stupid broken like power cards that like dominated the format.
Yeah, like I don't know. Which also, going back to the Yu-Gi-Oh's in weird spot, this kind of goes to the other question. They really just rush duels to live in Duel Links because I don't know how else. Because the announcement just came in from Anime's News Network like an hour or so before the podcast. Go Rush has a date for January 11th to be for its dub.
Yep.
Like officially, like it's coming like next in like a week and a half. And yet there's no like again, it's like there's no product.
Russell is so weird. Like, here's this banger new thing that could get a ton of people in and like ignite a new base. But we're gonna sit on it and do nothing. And even in Japan, it's doing well. It's doing all right. Not as big as its older brother. But then they're like, you know what? We're done. We're just gonna end the anime early. Cut off that story arc. No more Yu-Gi-Oh anime at all. It's like, I don't know what Konami wants.
Hello?
I don't.
Say it again?
Huh?
You cut it like
I
right there.
don't know. I don't know what Konami wants out of Rush Duel. Their bar must be way like sky high.
Are you talking about Konami Japan or are you talking about Konami of America?
Japan both.
I
Like
mean,
they're setting their expectation is way up here.
it doesn't make sense because right, like every time, like pretty much for like the past year, right? We looked at the supposed like estimated sales. It's been in top 10 what
Right.
2 years in a row. Like if
Uh-huh.
you're considering Japan is known as the TCG mecca, and card games that should be dead, that were dead in any other case, are still alive today, still releasing sets. Which I'll talk about when I'll talk hilarious about a card game I just realized is still wanting to drop another set in a second. But it's still top 10.
Right.
Like you were beating Vanguard. You were
Like
beating
what? They want like
Digimon.
a top 5?
Like it bothers me. It's like you have like that's the funny thing. Rush Duel has just like if you again MBT videos always said this. I said this. Rush Duel has everything a modern TCG should have, which is easy access to the cards, multiple reprints. Right, every set they reprint cards from older sets to actually be used. Right,
Right.
beginner product that's solid. Uh, adaptations of other cards, alt arts that are chase rarity.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like legitimately, right? They put that Dark Magician in there. They probably sold the most they ever sold in that set. That Dark Magician girl, excuse me, but you know what I mean. Is
Right.
like it has everything a modern TCG needs at this time and age, plus with the Yu-Gi-Oh moniker, and it's also being dropped in English. Why on earth? And Speed Duels just died. Why on earth are you not just getting ready? You didn't care about Speed Duels anyway, so it's not like you actually want to like
Nothing
wait.
makes sense.
You want to wait until the body's cold? Like no,
Yeah.
you killed the body. Just put the body in the casket and announce the replacement. You put the body in casket, announce the replacement. Like it's like you don't care, and Bandai don't care, and we'll talk about that in a second. So here's the other funny thing I
It's
just
all so confusing.
yeah. So here's the other funny thing I noticed. I was watching uh sorry, I'm trying to figure out what I am cutting this down. I was watching uh I'm trying to remember his name. I'm sorry. I was watching a video, basically,
You,
talking about what. Let me see. Talking about. Oh my goodness, I'm just actually just choking on this. I was watching a video talking about their thoughts on card games this year, and one of them we talk about other games that got updates, and one of them they said was Magi Nation. I'm like, wait, Magi Nation? What are you talking about?
huh?
So I
No
looked it
way.
up. They actually crowdfunded a brand new set of Magi Nation to start the game back up. And I was like, okay, that's cool. How much was there? I don't remember what it was, but I thought I saw 200K for a
Oh,
new
I'm looking
Magi
at it right.
for a new Magi Nation set in 2024. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm looking at it. 266,000.
almost 300K for Magi Nation. Okay, you know what? I, I'm just blank that they wanted to bring Magi Nation back, and not only that, that's a lot of money to be like, yeah, no, people want it back too, or like some really really well, really really hardcore fans were like, yeah, no, we want it back. Which I mean, it's like, okay, that was unpredictable. You could not have told me 2024 would have ended with a Magi Nation set.
Right? Like, I mean, I've been surprised by a lot of things in the TCG space over the years. I mean, this year, I mean, 2024 in particular.
Oh shoot! I just realized my filters were not. Okay. I wanna ask how my. Okay, I completely forgot to put filters on this one. Okay, that's fine. I had to do some audio thing, but yeah, just hey, good for them, right?
Yeah.
So now that we're on that, uh, all right, let's kind of get into our main topic. It's somewhat slow, but let's get to the main topic. Uh, 5 things we think are going to happen, should happen, or just premonitions in the trading card game industry for 2025. You go first.
Just general predictions.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I think Gundam's gonna burn like bright hot for like the first half of the year and probably start dipping on the second half. I'm gonna remain optimistic though. I
Yeah.
think Digimon's gonna go the way of every single other Digimon product and just fade completely into the background of time, no matter what. We're gonna keep being mad about Vanguard every like month at this point between the two of us until 2026, because that's just how this channel works. Matches Gathering's gonna make a ton of money on Arena, that's for sure. You just gonna keep me, you're gonna piss me off every 3 months, and I don't know. I think that covers all the main bases.
I kind of want you to just go one at a time, kind of
Oh
expand
shoot.
upon them. Also, you stole one of mine.
Oh, oops. What do you want me to expand on first?
I mean, let's go with the one we all have together, which is Gundam. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't think Gundam's gonna be the big hit Bandai thinks is going to be. I'll be honest.
Huh.
Like, I'm still thinking like about their potential set one, which
Right.
one we don't really have any details on existing. That's one thing. Like, we know there's going to eventually be a set one,
Right.
but is it just going to be just the beta cards, but like done, or is it going to be just the beta cards plus a few other like expansion cards?
I imagine it'll be the latter.
Yeah, I imagine that too. Because again, it's just like, man, and I say this just kind of like this thing is like, I like the alt arts of Gundam, but I think trying to readily make a worldwide TCG of Gundam a genre that is not as popular anymore. And by that I mean like the mecha genre.
Right. And
Like
also, I feel like Gundam's kind of one of those like mainstays, right? It has like it's not visible support, but it's also like not
like
non-existent.
obviously hardcore people are gonna go into the game. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, uh, Gundam's gonna be Gundam's gonna be like a flop. I'm just saying it's not gonna be like this another pillar that I think Bandai is assuming or want it to be.
Hmm.
Because again, it's like you could do One Piece became that banger because it's One Piece. Like it was one of the big three. Not just one of the big three, the top member of the big three. Right? It had the most sales, it had the most volume sold, it has the longest running anime, it has multiple games, it has multiple things. People recognize those characters. People know Luffy. Gooners know Nami and Robin. Like, people know Sanji, Usopp, Zolo. Like, there's so
Right.
many like noticeable characters. Meanwhile, I want you to legitimately think: is Kira Yamato a noticeable character for people who don't really watch Gundam like that? Soletta
Well,
is.
fair.
Soletta
No,
is, but I don't think. But we move way past the era of Seed being the equivalent of Sword Art Online. It's
I
like
mean, you got a point.
it's like it's
But
a good idea to
there's
start.
also something we also have to consider, right? As far as Gundam's Western expansion has been, it's only been misfires, right? Like, we don't know what will actually happen if Bandai actually just releases something good.
You mean
We,
you mean
we
literally
haven't seen it yet.
you mean Bandai literally just keeps bumbling somewhere at some point because they just can't get it
Yeah.
right?
With,
Like
with,
I,
with everything, yeah.
like I know you notice you haven't played Battle Operation in a while.
Yeah. Because the netcode's ass and the player base died.
I
Because
mean,
the netcode was ass.
what Extreme Battle Plus EX Versus? Heck, remember Gundam Versus?
Right?
That
Like,
game legitimately fumbled, and it's like how
to quote a really ancient meme, a true Gundam Western release has never been tried.
like not since Wing has Gundam ever like got that expansion again.
Where was Double O? Sci-Fi Channel.
Like IBO and Toonami in a period where Toonami is basically like banished
A
to.
shot of his former self.
I mean, not that, but I mean, yeah, but also more so, it's also just in the late at night. It's like, bro, ain't nobody, everybody who we watching are partying, doing something else, or going to bed.
Uh-huh.
Like, which is even worse because now is Cartoon Network is basically like giving up more time slot to Adult Swim is even worse. Like, can Tanami just start earlier now?
Right.
Like, why are we starting at like 11 o'clock at night? Start like at 9 or something. Put like more like, I guess more like family friendly anime or something. Like, we don't need to go into Attack on Titan immediately, but we can start with like with Gundam. We can
I
start
mean,
with something like a bridge between like the normal stuff and the serious stuff. Well, we got Naruto. Like,
right? Like even when
why
the people talk about
why
the
is
kids,
King of the
but
Hill and
no,
Family Guy on at like 6 p.m. at night? Ain't no kids supposed to be watching Family Guy and King of the Hill at 6 p.m. at night.
right?
But then again, that's a whole other thing of like how animation and
Cable is dying.
gosh dang David Zaslav. Like, did you know they took off Teen Titans Go
I
from
was
HBO
literally about to
Max?
mention that.
Like, that's insane to me. That Teen Titans
Nothing
Go
is
was
safe.
like Teen Titans Go. You took off Teen Titans.
That was their SpongeBob.
It's like that's literally like shooting LeBron James and saying like firing LeBron James off the Lakers right now. It's like that's LeBron. That's all you got. It's like that's all you
Oh,
got right
apparently it
now.
also came. Also, the original Teen Titans, Static Shock, Green Lantern, Ed and Eddie, Grim Riches, Billy Mandy, and more. Apparently, were also in that same wave that took out Teen Titans Go. They hit the exterminators on our childhoods, man.
I've never wanted negative things to happen to a CEO more.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! We're not that episode yet.
I didn't say
We can save the society episode for another time.
we're not having no society episode.
Come on, you know you want to have these. You know you want to have the society episode.
I kind of do, but I want to at least make it like a year before we get there. Can we? at least, at least if we're going to go out, let's go out swinging. All right. But yeah, I just like Mecha isn't as strong as the genres used to be. Gundam isn't as strong as it was. Like, again, Wish for Mercury kind of fumbled the ball at the end. So
You know, there's one way to save mecha anime. More shows like Bravern.
how did I know you were gonna say that? I felt that in my soul you were going to say that.
I mean, if you think about it, it was the breakout hit of 2024.
I mean,
No one expected the gay robot show to be as popular as it was. Which is funny to say after Witch from Mercury.
the only other mecha series that was like as popular was freaking Gridman, but that's more of Toku. That's like
Right.
Toku. That's like more Toku than anything.
Like I think people, like I
I
think the
mean, and
problem
even
with
they're not really
mecha,
there for the mecha. They're really there for the girls.
right?
They're there for one girl's thighs. They're there for another girl's chest. Like they're just there to be down horrendous.
Right. And then Bravern came in out of nowhere and said, "Well, what if we also made a really good mecha show on top?" And was just so out there, no one will see it coming.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, my other thing, the other big problem is, besides there not being enough shows like Bravern,
what?
Mecha Twitter has the Mecha fan base has a goddamn persecution complex.
Hmm.
They will not stop letting Giga live rent free in their head. Oh, Mecha is dead. Oh, look at all this Mecha stuff. Yeah, Mecha is dead. Mecha is dead. Oh my god, I heard Mecha is dead. It's like, shut up
I mean, it's not
and
just
just watch shows. Just watch shows.
like for crying out loud, they still want to beef. Like, seeing Gundam Twitter is actually like insufferable when it comes to talking about series.
Yeah.
Like, besides the fact that we're still beefing about Seed 20 years later, the fact that
Dog,
there's
I am pro seed now. I'm just gonna say it.
like the
I'm
fact that
like
there's
pro seed.
beef with gosh dang Unicorn of all things still, it's like, come on, y'all.
The amount of people saying, you know, we're gonna offend unless you watch the 00789.
Like, if I saw someone say Marita's a terrible character, I almost crashed out. I saw someone say Marita Cruz was a terrible character, I almost crashed out and almost got my cap, man. I was like, I gotta hold myself back. I can't do it.
No. See, 2025 has already been the year of the crash out for mankind. I think it's time for us to partake, alright?
Maybe later. Like I got things to talk about with certain
No, like
other games.
it's time we start some social media beef with some accounts, alright? Forget hiding, alright? We're going all in.
Legitimately, maybe next time we talk about League of Legends, because by that time the new season will start, and I can finally say I'm done with that game.
I'm out. We're canceling the podcast. It's gonna be you and a cardboard cutout that episode, alright?
Hey, listen, you don't want me to finally just grip in the league? Like I'm telling you this right now, I've not logged into League for about a whole month. Not actually
No.
2 months. Before then, I was playing League like almost like once a day. I had like a couple AM matches and like one or two Summoners Rift matches, and that was it. But then all of a sudden, just like legitimately, I think what did it? The stupid Jinx skin. The Jinx skin was the last straw. The fact that they put Jinx's probably, in my opinion, best skin in as a gotcha skin. I want you to guess. At how much money does it take for the Jinx skin to hit pity?
$250.
Yep, $250. $250
to do my homework.
to hit pity. And keep in mind, this is basically the same like level as an ultimate skin. They said so long in the past that ultimate skins take about like rare things that they like. We want to kind of build up on something, have an idea, perfectly fine. If they literally just went, yeah, you could just have it for $30, I'd have bought it day one. I played Jinx for about a good week straight and been cool. But you trying to have me pay almost 7 times that for one of my favorite characters.
Wow.
And they wonder why people aren't staying to play League of Legends.
I'm pretty sure people aren't saying to play League of Legends because the game's outdated, a little rusty, and the player base is full of trash.
Yeah. But it doesn't help that the skin for Arcane that basically goes, hey, you know that TV show you just watched that you want to play the game
before you can get to the store.
No, you don't get it. When you open up the store, when you open up the client, when the client's downloading, they hit you with the Jinx skin. When you open up the client, the Jinx skin is right there. It says, hey, it's here. You can't earn currency in the game. You can't earn the currency to roll for the skin in game. You have to use actual money.
Oh no!
Like this isn't like again, Nikkei's gotcha skins are $60 basically. That's a whole different thing, but not $250.
Right.
Like if I'm lucky, I can hit like $40 on a gotcha skin and be like, okay. And while that's also predatory, it's not $250 predatory.
Right.
And if
I mean, look, Valorant has been buying $50 guns. Okay?
I think the worst part too is that they also they said this. They said, hey, it takes 3 to 4 years to come up with an idea, use the technology, and make the skin for their ultimate skins. After this skin is off, pieced out next patch, they're dropping another one for set.
Oh no.
And it's just like, so you just lied about everything. So it's not, oh, you couldn't do this in you wanted to. It was more like you were actually being held back because you know the actual workers there were trying to hold you back. But when you fired a good 12% of them, they lost power, and now you could just say, hey, we want you to make this $250 skin
Yeah.
almost every other patch. And oh yeah, you don't get residuals off of it, even though you were the one who made the skin, you designed the skin, you did everything. Oh, by the way, you're fired because we gotta save money.
I mean, League players love paying for. I'm kidding.
Which is even worse because I heard this rumor or like this leak or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I said this earlier in a previous podcast. They said like 2024 is gonna be the biggest year for League of Legends budget or Riot Games budget, or whatever.
Right.
And that was because the original plan was going to be that they were going to spend that money on updating the game to a new engine. A completely new engine, new code, new everything to make sure it's actually good to go.
Huh.
But apparently, I don't know what happened, but apparently that got canceled.
I mean, they could have spent all that arcane money on the update.
That's apparently what I think they were going to do that on. But they cancel it. Because they're like, well, it doesn't matter. We can just drop all these crazy. I mean, when Faker's $500 skin sold 2 million in 4 hours just in Korea alone, what are you gonna do against that? They were literally people, guys, boycott it. You know, ban Ari, do whatever. People spent 200 million, like almost 20 million on that fake $500 Faker skin alone. Like, what do you do against that? And with the way he keeps winning worlds, there's gonna be more skins of him. Like, he makes money. You can't, like, until Faker retires, League will never run out of money.
Right.
So it's just like, how do you fight that besides just not buying stuff or just not playing the game? Like, you just gotta cut your losses.
For sure.
Well, we went on a tangent. You know what? Speaking of League, here's my next one. The league game will fail. The league game will flop.
100%.
Like, that game, like, unless they reveal that, oh yeah, we went back on the drawing board, updated the cover, updated everything, you know, found more unique art. That game's not gonna do well.
They could do the funniest thing ever and like announce an online client for it.
Oh, you mean Legends of Runeterra?
No, a different online client for their new card game.
Oh man, that's so cool. Wow, Legends of Runeterra is still around?
Yeah.
Literally out here. Like, they don't even have a real name for it. Like, it's just the League of Legends card game.
The snake must begin eating its tail, Zechs. Alright, the snake must begin the tail eating.
It's just, bro, this game has no aura to it at all, man.
Like, I'm gonna be honest, there's no direction what Riot's been doing for the past few years from what I've noticed. Zero.
Which is why I'm just like, I don't know what you're doing, bro. Like, I don't know.
Like, they want to do everything, but they achieve nothing.
So I'm like,
If Fox said chases two hens, catches neither.
Listen here, you philosopher. I don't need. But yeah, it's just like, which.
I mean, I mean, have you heard much from a 2XKO in like a month, in like months?
Ever since they revealed Jinx properly, no. But they said that's gonna be like late 2025. I expect them to officially announced something on
I mean,
Evo.
they just had to restart developing the MMO.
They've been restarting development on the MMO.
And we're not going to see
Ever
anything.
since Ghostcrawler got hit with the allegations, they pretty much have been back at the drawing board. And then when
And
he
like, we're
left,
going to be. That game's not coming out until 2030 at this rate. Like, what are they doing?
I don't even want it no more. I'll be honest, I don't even want that no more. Cause
Look, I already have a feeling if it does come out ever, it's not going to be a regular MMO. It's just going to be a hero MMO. It's like, cool, you get to play as your favorite League characters again with abilities straight from League, now in an MMO. And it's going to launch from the League of Legends client.
I caught COVID.
Call it adventure mode.
That's the funny thing is that'd be everything people wanted from just a PvE mode in League for a while.
Right.
It's like it still have more story than Overwatch 2.
Man, the floor's in hell there, alright? Marvel Rivals has more story than Overwatch at this point.
It's like, bro, out. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about them no more.
Man, can Blizzard announce the card games we can wrangle them to during this podcast?
No, don't. Speaking of announcements, let's talk about an announcement.
Yeah.
That will lead to my next thing. So, Bandai Card Fest announced that hold on.
Oh, this. Yeah.
Hold on. I just had it. Yeah, Bandai Card Games Fest announced that ishowspeed Oh no.
What?
There's no way. Jeff Jones, you're losing my mind.
Huh?
Jeff Jones is at card. I was looking for the post. I got hit with a Jeff Jones thing. They might announce Naruto Shippuden in the Union Arena.
Oh. Oh shoot.
Literally has Caesar banner at the venue.
As I see it now.
Yep. But yeah, the actual announcement is ishowspeed is going to be at the Bandai Card Games Fest in Orlando during the 24th tomorrow. Yeah. Which is kind of crazy. It's like they like last second announcement. Oh yeah, here's ishowspeed, y'all. And it's so crazy that they decided to like announce, hey, ishowspeed is coming. Not because he's going to be a guest for One Piece. He's also probably going to be the one saying the eulogy for Bowser Saga. Because I think I've finally given up. I think I have finally given up on this game, bro.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look. I've already said it before about Battle Spirits, right?
I said I think if they don't announce something at most by where the heck is that's weird. I said they don't announce anything at most by Card Game Fest, that game is probably going to to go soon. And I said I fully believe that they would at least wait till after Gundam drops to at least be
Mm.
like, all right, it's time to be like, hey, we got one more set in it, but pretty much we out. I don't think they were gonna give that, bro. Like they're not even teasing anything. The thing is, tomorrow they're not even teasing like a new announcement. They're not teasing anything. They start early Sunday. Like they're literally saying, "Oh man, getting Carfest this week, man, it's so good set that just released to finally play with it." And it's like, nigga, what? It's been a month. It's like just released. I mean, yes, Generation just released literally a month ago, but it's like that's cool, but it's time to start kind of revealing something, right?
Yeah.
At least announcing something, but like just like actually dodging any questions.
But I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh kind of like, buried the lead of like speed duels dying for like as long as possible. Like they hit that until it was like, hey, is there any new sets coming to Europe? And then Europe's like, no. Oh my god, speed duels is dead.
Like again, I'm looking through some of these videos, and someone kind of said like freaking someone else was like they haven't heard anything from distributors about an upcoming Battle Spirits thing, and usually distributors things like they're usually like supposed to know like 3-6 months in advance when the order
Right.
product, right?
Yeah.
The fact that there hasn't been anything since set 6 started its segment at all. They've gotten things for every other game but Bowser Saga. It's like if that ain't it's cooked, I don't know what else to say. And it
Oh,
hurts because I'm
that's
like, bro, like
right. Like,
I Show Speed ain't cheap now. It's like, what is he doing here?
that's a great question. Unless they're gonna do like some cheesy, totally real and totally not staged. Man, I always loved playing Digimon.
Here for
And he
One
does a flip.
Piece. I always love playing One Piece.
And then he does a flip, everyone cheers. And you get a bunch of people on TikTok and Twitter like, oh my gosh, I gotta check out this new One Piece game. Oh jeez.
Meanwhile, Bowser's in the corner like, hey guys, look at there, and like you just have Digimon like, hey bro, listen, we gotta be honest with you, dog. It ain't gonna work. Just go ahead and go home, bro.
No, I'm sure Digimon's staring at Battle Spirits like, man, that could be me on the stretcher next year.
They are. Did you see that? This video put it. No, Digimon is staring at One Piece and Gundam like Hawkman was staring at Hawk Girl and Green Lantern. You see that video?
Oh
That
man, no.
about like someone just posted that scene in Justice League Unlimited where Hawk Girl and Green Lantern just making out, and you just see Hawkman looking over them like, I wish they were dead. just like they out here just happy, getting freaky in the middle of the thing, and he watching
I
his
mean,
wife basically
let's be
cheating
on.
in front of him. And it's like, I wish y'all both were dead.
Man, that's probably happening on that watchtower like 24/7. Let's not kid ourselves.
It's like that's basic, but like yeah, that's basically what I think Digimon is right now. Looking at One Piece and
Like
Gundam, like
Superman.
Just like ain't no way.
I mean, I'm sure Digimon's also looking at like
Meanwhile,
Dragon Ball Super, the original Dragon Ball Super, like, buddy, you're next, man. You're next.
no, they no Dragon Ball Super is like Beast Boy and Young Justice.
What are these references, DC, man?
Oh, bro, you don't know what they did to Beast Boy, bro.
Oh no.
They literally had an entire arc about him going to therapy because he might have become a crackhead. I think it was because of like trauma in season 3. I haven't seen season 3 Young Justice. Okay,
God.
I think it was part kind of like the ending of season 2 of Young Justice and something that happens in season 3 of Young Justice. Like you at least know the ending of Young Justice season 2, right?
Right. I mean, I guess that's not as bad as the Teen Titans finale where it's like, yeah, sorry, Beast Boy, nope.
Mm-hmm.
Terror's not real. Sorry, man. Your show's over. You're not getting another season. Just be sad about it.
Yeah, this is like yeah. I want to keep making references. Yeah, Dragon Ball Super is Beast Boy and Young Justice season 4. Dragon Ball Super is Hawkman. One Piece and Gundam are looking like Green Lantern and Hawk Girl. And you got
God.
and then you got Bowser Saga out here looking like Terra. Which version? Yes.
Like, where's Union Arena in all of this?
uh Yin Arena is with Kishimoto. Apparently. Yin Arena just sat here traveling the globe like Ash Ketchum.
Right.
Like I'll eventually become the Pokemon Master. It'll take 25 years, but I'll get there.
Yeah, I'm telling chill.
So, what was another one of your previous topics? You know, your thoughts.
Uh, we're gonna be. I was like, we're gonna be stuck here writing about Vanguard every month or so for the next year.
I don't think so. We haven't written about Vanguard today.
Sure. I mean, there's something to talk about. It's the other problem with Vanguard. There's nothing to talk about.
I mean, there's a positive thing. They announced 2 new starter decks.
That I did not see.
Yeah, they're doing 2 more Skyride starter decks.
Sweet.
Yep. And then they showed the OP for Divine Deluxe.
But and it was a nice. I just think like Vanguard OPs, right? Like the start of Vanguard OP is great, and then it turns to a bunch of still images. Every like half like they were doing so well with the Divines and Overdress openings. And
Yeah.
then here we go back to the G-Neck style where just have the characters like move a little bit and then penning shot. Move,
So
penning shot.
I very least like the. I very least like what they did in like the direction of it. If you can't animate everything, it's like okay, that's fine.
Right, the direction was fine. It's just kind of funny. It's like, dang, we went from some
I
bangers
think
to
I
this.
think you know I heard a complaint about that too, and like I got it, and I think really the reason is because they start the slowdown starts with now just like hitting like a jog, and there's nothing next to her at all. That like
Right.
every other character who's in the shots is like in the still shots are like going over their storylines, right?
Hmm.
You know, we have this beautiful one of uh Erica like going from the grief of her normal old Hikari then into future Hikari, then like getting eating Gabrilius and becoming Erica, and like being
Right.
happy. You have Suo who looked so downtrodden, and he comes up, pans up, and it's like he's actually like kind of happy and wholesome. You got Kuon who is lost in his red thing because of Silbelt, then comes out with the back shot of him and Suo as kids. But now it's just like just a shot of just now with nothing.
Like,
Which I'm
I
like,
am so worried about this coming season. Like, I've been pretty on board for all of the vines. I'm just like,
like I'll say this though, I
no.
have to only feel like they're planning something to go there later because I don't know
I mean,
why they just have the rule of thirds, but 2/3 of it is nothing.
right.
Like the only way I can
Hopefully.
say it is like, oh, they don't want to like, they put a segment specifically for the credits, which I assume is what the plan is. But even then, it's still kind of weird.
Mm. But
Like,
I'm like, dude, there's 2 more seasons confirmed of Divines after this, right? And like, we're doing a tournament, and I'm just like, please let there be something else to this. I'm begging you.
I mean, I'm there probably
These
is
next
going to be
seasons end up mid. I'm gonna be saying Kidani is right the high noon. All right, you're not gonna hear the end of me.
what?
I'm just gonna be not Kidani. Sorry, Ito was right. Like I'm just gonna Ito was right. Tournament arcs suck. We don't need them.
I need you to find wherever this quote of Ito saying tournament arts suck is, or like whatever it is that gives you that reference that says he believes that.
I'll just skip tournaments across V. Shinimon straight up having the S Cup be yes, the tournament arcs are really that or entire thing, and I tricked you, little girl, into thinking this tournament was a big deal. But I intentionally had you just fold. You're gonna feed, all right? It's fine. It's for someone else's character development, young child.
That's a good idea for like a look through that kind of like, do these things actually matter? Like,
Like what was it? Like the regionals of Vol and Shin Mom was sort of just Shin gets on stage at the at like the final round. We cut away. It's like, oh shoot, man, he lost. Dang. Like Ito doesn't care.
I don't
Even
know.
the manga, like how many every single tournament in the original manga was off screened.
That is true. Hmm. That's interesting, but yeah, I just like I think so it's gonna happen, but I'm also kind of like I kind of would just like one season where like we don't just one season back to kind of just like yeah we could just have an actual tournament arc, just have people just fight. I think the problem with tournament arcs is it's just the same way with like sports. It's kind of like we want our favorite team to kind of win,
Your characters back, yeah.
and like the problem with how like some tournament arcs are, especially how the first deluxe went was like, oh everyone gets like 3 rounds and then we cut the top 8.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and then not only that, we also cut like certain matches that would have been cool. Again, I'm still salty at us not getting the Megami Toya fight.
Right. And like there's another problem with tournament arcs, right? Especially with current state of Vanguard right now. Like a very big one.
What?
We got 13 episodes, man.
Oh yeah, the length. It's like we can't.
And we can't keep and we can't just like double the cast and fill them up with a bunch of like new and returning characters who will now show off their abilities in this grand tournament that's 13 episodes long.
Allegedly 15.
Allegedly 15. Wow, 2 episodes are gonna fix the entire problem here. Wow, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Like 14 and 15 are just gonna be the final fight stretched out to 2 episodes.
I mean, I think also the other thing is what it's not like even in the original deluxe, it's like, oh, we've got a bunch of like people who say they're pros but are really just here to be jobbers.
Right.
Except like two who actually have some like weight and actual like depth to them.
Like someone's about to get fodderized. Like at least a few people on that poster are gonna get immediately fodderized. I hope you realize.
Oh, I know. Like,
Question is, who's it gonna be? Megumi, who's it gonna be?
no, no, you can't do that to me. You can't have her have one of the rawest shots in the OP and then have her get not even make top 8. Woo! I could not deal with that again.
I'm just saying, if it does happen, then the next podcast episode after is gonna be marvelous.
I'm not showing up to work that day. You're on your own.
Nah, man, you're clocking in.
You're gonna have to edit a whole like thing to put in the podcast, okay?
Nah, I mean, realistically, it's probably gonna be slow. Like, I see him totally getting like jobbered out again.
Oh yeah, without that, bro. They actually just do not respect this boy anymore.
I
Like,
mean, can you blame them?
how?
Like, once your character arc becomes I really love Vanguard Daisuke, it's over for you. That is the end of your story in this franchise.
I mean, I heard some like rumor about like, oh, uh, what was her name? The new
Yeah,
Suzune being like probably like a cousin.
I, that's funny. I mean, I can see it, but it's also like, are we just gonna introduce a new like person to Swo's backstory every season? Like, we already have the secret best friend. Are we gonna introduce the secret cousin?
Uh,
Like, what? By the end of Divine, it's gonna turn out this is like the most popular person around, and he completely forgot all of it, conveniently.
hmm.
But now I'm done. Like, really, I can kind of say like the only characters that matter. Like, if I'm gonna be optimistic, right? Like, even just looking how the poster's directed, it's gonna be Michiru.
Oh my
Now
god.
the other new guy in Akina. Those are the only four characters I'm like, you guys actually matter this season.
Wait, who?
Like,
Michiru,
whatever the
new
new
guy, Akina, but you said one more?
and now. And
Man,
I'm sure two of those are just gonna be Akina's trainers to go beat Michiru.
man, I'm just thinking about. It's like, yeah, no, I hate that you made me start to worry about this season. I was so happy. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be so cool. I get to see cool matchups, and I'm just thinking, there's gonna be so much salt.
Yes. There's the cast is almost too stacked to avoid the salt mines. It's too stacked.
And we haven't even brought Yu back into this either.
If Yu was on this poster, you would be dreading everyone else besides Akina.
Like, freaking, I mean,
Like, it
come
would have
on.
been it would have been two dudes cleaning house.
Imagine an early match where Yu beats Akina. People would lose their minds.
That's it.
Off rip, it's like it ain't even the actual finals, but it's like
The
just
crash out would be
you
unreal.
the protagonist that is like the least liked beat the protagonist that currently people the new protagonist darling would
Right.
be upsetting, just even if the match was like legitimately fair and understandable. They just be upset just because they don't like Yu Yu, which is even more crazy because I'm like, I saw more tweets of like, wait a second, if Raika basically uh graduated, did Yu Yu show up to graduation?
No, dude was in Australia, man. Card fighting the kangaroos.
No, Toya's in Australia. Speaking of which, where is Toya?
Card fighting the kangaroos,
Like
mate.
Toya's missing, Donji's missing. Like where is everybody? Like they literally
They
just
all they took a brocation.
Zechs literally cleared the entire verse and he's not here.
Next time we see Zoxa, he's gonna show up like, yeah, so Crate's real.
It's
You kind of caused all of this. Also, I become the Messiah.
like what? It's like, huh?
Like, I think that's the problem with Zoxa, right? Like, as a character, is that like he's kind of that bridge between old and new Vanguard, but no one wants to be the one to answer those questions. So we have this guy with Qualia here. What do we do with him? Have him clear the verse and vanish.
Like it is just so funny how he just actually beat everyone senseless.
It's weird.
Like he beat Yu Yu so bad he had him geeking. Had him geeking for too bad. But oh man,
Like you almost like we need him to beat Michiru like off screen, and it's like I have fully cleared the verse.
it's like like it's like we're not for the fact that he's just a nice guy. Like he would be the modern Ryuga. Just like, oh yeah, I like we really unlocked that man's limits. We really unlocked his limiters, and then he just went back to
And
being the wife guy.
right, it's like we're gonna talk about you being a sidekick. Nope. It's like, well, yeah, nope. You literally seeing the future? Nuh-uh.
Like actually,
Unlocking the protagonist's potential.
what's
I don't know
funny.
what you're talking about.
I think what's funny is like even in the trailer, they don't even show him. They show Megami, they show Urara, and they show Tamari. But that's all of Team Blackout they show in that trailer.
Bro also vanished the same place Sanji, Toyo, and Yu Yu are at. They're just all taking a brocation away from Blackout.
Like I know Megami got rid of the red hair thingy, but like you got rid of everybody too. Like what Yamamoto was there, I think actually. Yamamoto, what?
So here's what I think happened, alright? At some point, I think Zagza became the leader of Blackout, like for like a little bit, and like everyone else in Blackout that became leader, F this, I'm out.
That doesn't make sense because he was there when Megami was leader.
Like maybe something happened, alright? Because like if you notice, every single person that led Blackout vanished.
I mean, I think it's also just because their voice actors are probably expensive.
I mean, true, but like narratively, right? Like it seems oh so convenient that like every single person that's ever like raised that flag, besides Megumi, said, "I can't do this anymore."
I mean, I still haven't gotten to that point in. I just want to know if Dear Days ever like answered the question of why did Toya just leave. Besides, he just became a hermit.
See, Toya's a funny guy. Like, I think they wanted to do a drug addiction metaphor with Toya, but they learned from Yu-Gi-Oh that you can't just keep making card games a drug metaphor.
I, oh man, god, man, I feel like I want to do a video on Yu Yu so badly, but I feel like it will get controversial just because of how the first two seasons play out for his character, and then how they just deal
I
with him
mean,
later.
you also gotta consider how weird his character arc kind of got in Will Dress.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, oh,
Like,
he's the point is like him as a character in Overdress and him as a character in Will Dress are not
dude,
this do not feel like the same character.
no, dude was about to have a Toya level crash up by the end of Will Dress until they like changed course. Even Don's like, oh shoot, man, I shouldn't have made this kid leader. He's about to have a crash out, and then nothing.
That's what makes me even weirder because I'm like, why on earth? Like I know Donji chose him to kind of be like his like protege, but then he chose Toya to be the leader, which makes a lot more sense. It's like
Hmm.
which originally makes a lot more sense, but it's like it ended up working well narratively. It's like Toya actually
I
did want to
mean,
atone and come back
you,
together, but I think the biggest mistake they did was just not letting Megami become leader.
I mean,
Like
you gotta consider something
she's been
else.
there longer. She is more thing. She is actually Donji's protege. She should have been leader instead of Yu Yu. And I think the story and the narrative actually would have probably fit a lot better.
Yeah, but you also have to consider, right? Like, see, I think Overdress season 2 was interesting because it does this one thing that I wish they like lean harder into,
Into
and
saying,
it's that Donji kind of sucks.
oh
Like
yeah,
at
no,
the core of Blackout, it's that Donji sucked.
yeah, but it's like Donji sucked not because Donji sucks not because oh he's not a good player. No, Donji sucks because he's just not a good person. He was not a good person. He didn't actually deal with
Right.
any of that, and that's what makes me so angry about Will Dress is that they basically just instead of actually going delve deeper into that,
He goes
they
right back to being mythologized in Will Dress.
yeah like even if it's just a bit, no they literally kick him out the show. They
Right.
they literally kick him out of season one, and then turn him into a secret Asian dude in season two.
And then he's like, man, I had such a good run being the Messiah.
And then
Here's my
he's
other chosen Messiah, my best buddy from off screen Michiru that no one knew about. He's the actual new goat to replace my goat status. Bah.
and in season three he does nothing but stands there and watch along with Tomari.
Don't forget, he also found the one black guy in the entire planet, on the entire planet, and stuck him in a room to play video games.
Oh man, the down. Oh
With
man,
living proof finally gets his anime cameo, and that's what he gets reduced to.
it just. Oh man, oh.
They finally put proof in, and this is what happens.
There's not. We gotta move on because we're just gonna spend the entire time talking about it. All right.
No, that's every podcast
You know
episode.
what?
It's great.
You know what? Let's move on to the next. Listen, bro, I don't want to have another 12 gig podcast to upload, okay? Let's move on to. God damn it. So we're not gonna move on from Vanguard. Back straight to Bushiroad. So here's my topic. Bushiroad has said by 2027 they want to be the number one card game company. They got to start doing it this year. They got to start
Oh
actually
yeah.
moving for that line now. They don't have any out. You can't do 2026 is like where I think a lot of like other dominoes are going to fall. To where other
Hmm.
games, this is another part is like there's going to be TCGs that fall more than just Battle Spirit Saga. I think one that's already said that I'm like Battle Saga is pretty much as good as dead. But another thing is that there's going to be some other games that probably fall alongside it,
Like,
especially not this year, the next year.
yeah. Like, there is a non-zero chance by 2026, the only Bushiroad card game around is Weiss.
What?
Like, there's a non-zero chance by the end of 2026, Bushiroad's down to just Weiss.
That is, I don't think that's gonna be happening.
I mean, no, but it's
Like, like the other games would have to blow up so badly, which I don't think is gonna
right.
happen.
I mean, true, but
But more of
I'm not optimistic given the trajectory.
was more of they're not focusing on the right ones. Like, oh, that's a good one to talk about. Oh, I was gonna bring this up. I didn't bring it, but you know what? We gotta talk about it here. Uh, it the fact that they haven't like still tried to upgrade their or like I want to see what they do next year for BCS because I need them to actually upgrade their streaming and promotion of events badly in the global market.
Oh yeah.
Because we got another announcement. Card Dream's doing Vanguard for BCS. Was it Toronto? I forgot what Canadian BCS is this week or in a week or so, but like they're doing that. I think it was like Toronto or I don't know, but it was Canadian BCS, and well, one that's good. Two, that should not be his job. Like
Right.
that should not be the community's job to stream your tournaments for free, basically. Like that should be your job as a company, but you don't have people in the West that will actually like take care of all that, and that's the
But
problem.
also,
Like your global like presence has to increase, and I'm like, don't get out of Singapore, but put another market somewhere in our Europe or North America, please. You can't keep staying in the damn Asia region and trying to control the Western market. You can't do that.
well, here's what I think is also one of the problems, right? With like expanding their reach.
What?
They can't expand their reach as of right now because, like, okay, not too much. Let me rephrase.
Okay,
Their reach is limited unless they get someone outside.
What do you mean?
It can't be their own streamers. It can't be them because they have no reach. Like, you have to find, at least for like getting stuff out there for like tournaments and events and whatnot, they need to find out someone outside. And that's where the problems are gonna start, right?
I'm gonna stop you right there. What do you mean someone outside? They
like,
run their own tournaments. They run their own major. We are in 2025. You can get a Negro off the streets with a webcam that you can put on there, a laptop, and actually stream. It is no longer the whole thing if you need to have a good running thing. We are in a point in time where you could literally go to Walmart, buy a $300 laptop, bring that over here, get you like a webcam, bring that over, set up a specific table. You need one person, two at most. And if you can't get it from an actual like Bushiroad employee, ask a judge. There's no excuse. Don't say there's no reach. They have reach. They want to be the reach. They want to be the #1 TCG company.
We need a larger content creator than the people we got that actually like advertise these things. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Zephyr Fight will tweet it out day one. Don't you dare say that. Excuse me, bro. I didn't mean to go crazy on you, but don't you dare say they need another TCG company. We have a top 10 content creator. They suck that nigga's dick every day, and you want to tell me they ain't got nobody? That man was streaming with Knack last week.
Yeah.
Fuck you talk about. Fuck you talk about. He was in the Bushy Road offices streaming with that nigga Knack, and you want to tell me that he won't just tweet out his coming out? We have a top 10 content creator for card games in general on our side, even if he don't live in the West no more.
Yeah,
and even then, we still got a Solemn.
Oh yeah, we got the Frenchman. Anyway.
Like, we still got Solemn. You want to at least give somebody a chance? Hey, why not have MBT co-stream an event?
Oh, see, now we're on the same page here.
Right? Like, you got VTubers. You got a VTuber tournament happening next week. You got multiple VTubers who are actually cool with the game. Might actually consider doing a stream of an event. If you want some VTubers.
I've been telling you, if Bushy just releases a free-to-play digital client, I'll be like a 24/7
Man, fuck the client. I want them to actually make paper good. I do not care about no damn client anymore. I don't care about a client. I don't care about CFA. I don't care about Vang Pro. I don't care about Deer Days. I don't care about
number one card game. That's the rules. I don't write them.
But I want paper down pat first.
Paper.
A client did not save money. Dragon Ball Super.
Watsy. Even Watsy is telling you paper is dead, man.
Watsy also is run by people who killed Power Rangers.
Master
who fumbled Transformers
for Yu-Gi-Oh!
You want to tell me Watsy's the bare minimum? No, those niggas trying to sell you $1,000 of fake cards for the 30th anniversary. You want to tell me that?
TCG Pocket's making gorillions of dollars for it. Now you want to tell me a client doesn't matter?
No, I'm not saying a client doesn't matter. I'm saying right now the client does not matter. In this specific context,
more reach.
No, one thing that's true. Okay, let me rephrase it. That's true. A client does help you get reach, but when you don't have that, you need to be on boots on the ground working. There ain't nobody from Bushy Road on the ground in Canada, North America, Brazil, Mexico, Europe, and by that I mean Spain,
what the heck is Mexico?
Because Mexico is also a point thing. The point is,
I'm like, wait a minute.
The point is, when you ain't got a client, you gotta be working. You gotta actually put in effort, and that's what I have a problem with. Is that they're not putting in effort. If they want to be the number one TCG company, they gotta put in effort. They gotta boots on the ground. They gotta expand the Western reach. They ain't done that since they closed down those things pre-COVID. That's why I got heated. I'm sorry. It was like, when you say like, oh, they gotta do this thing, that's cool. But I'm not just talking about a client. I'm talking about literally. Please, like, if this is a game, Kodani literally took Vanguard out of big stores like Walmart, Target, or whatever they have equivalent in Japan, because he want the card stores to have that part
home already and giving his golf clubs. I'm done with this man.
But it's like, okay, then you gotta make work. And not only that, it's also worse because cards like LGSs are closing. One, because of COVID, but two, because people just the support to actually have people come there isn't there from any other card game. except
Right.
for
Like,
except for at most Bandai games, and now even Magic is starting to kind of warm back up to doing
like
like live things.
so here's the grand irony of things, right? Like the grand irony of everything involving like physical card games. COVID created a need for digital clients. You know what also created?
What?
A boom in traditional games. Now COVID's like the pandemic's over, and now people are like, I still just only want to play digital. I'm barely going back to paper. So now we're like, shoot.
Well, well, here's
Like
what I'm
the
talking
the,
about.
the analog
Who
craze
who says
died
who says
overnight.
who says that about games that aren't Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic, right? And that's a different case because Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic have an issue where Magic didn't actually support Standard in a way that was like, yeah, why would I play in paper? There's no like pro scene for Standard. There's no like pro tour. There's no events for Standard that are like worth a damn. It's either modern or anything Commander. If I want to play Standard, I have to just go on Arena. Yu-Gi-Oh, Duel, Master Duel, despite being a arguable scam with how they've just basically ready bumped every new deck that comes out, is still cheaper than the TCG at almost any given point in time. The only one that has any sense to say that, yeah, no, people, people are like, oh, I could just, who actually are okay, is Pokemon. Because Pokemon has the thing of, one, its client is worse than literally just going and playing paper. But two, it's big enough for like people just would rather play Pokemon in person. People, they're
I mean,
breaking
TCG
records in
Live's not
tournaments.
that bad.
I mean, it's not that bad, but it's like it could be so much better,
I mean, it could be, but I mean, it's also like
right? And Illustrals,
the closer we're gonna get to a actually fully free to
and
play
if we're
like
going to talk about
client
a modern
community.
card game, let's talk about Illustrals, whose plan is to, basically go from, obviously this whole, their whole thing was we were doing online things, right? And now we're eventually going to move back, going to finally start the process of making a paper, like in-person tournament scene. Like,
Right.
even though they have a digital client coming out, what I'm saying is, while yes, a client is important, it is not important enough as making
The
sure that
end
there's
all.
a reason to buy and play the game in person. And that
Right.
is how Bushiroad makes sure that they become the number one t-shirt company, is not just, oh, you need a client. You need to strengthen your in-person events.
True.
Let me put it like this. And this is something I was going to talk about. I went on Facebook, and out of nowhere I saw a tweet from the Weiss community talking about, Vanguard got announced as another, TCG again got another stream announced, and it had the thing of like the person poking Weiss like, come on, do something. And while there's a lot of other like things about people just being insanely like salty or just crashing out over the fact that people are still playing Vanguard even though it's the worst game of all time and all that like facetious bullshit. Like, there were people who legitimately were like, it kind of sucks that, you know, one of the people I think of Weiss and Chill community, so like I asked like, hey, can we stream this event? And they were straight up told no by Bushiroad. Yeah, here we are. We got Fuzzy
The
Paradox
heck?
and Card Dweeb apparently streaming both, and it's like, I'm assuming it was recent because I don't know when they asked. I could only
Right.
assume
That's
it's
some
recent,
crazy
but like the fact that like,
like what, favoritism? Like
yeah, it kind of comes off favoritism. And one theory I had was I just went on rant of that was like they don't have effectively quote unquote a different fight. Someone who's like big, or like I say big, like 60K is a lot for like a game content creator. Not like a
Right.
again top 10, but you know what I mean. It's like they don't have somebody who just has that big outreach as Weiss, and Weiss isn't like Weiss sells product, yes, but it's more as a collector's thing. People aren't actually playing it either because they don't
Hmm.
know how to play. They just see it as a collector's thing or investment, or they're just not marketing for it like a Vanguard, right? Weiss can't have an anime, you
I
know.
mean, they tried once.
Yeah, I was like, that's another thing about the topic of card game anime I still want to kind of do, but that's a whole different story. But the point is, like, they don't have a whole thing. Their game is kind of I would argue, just a little bit harder to kind of see in terms of the
No, you're right. Like,
of things. Is like there's a lot of factors to Weiss that Vanguard just doesn't have that lessens that impact. Now, who should really be geeking out is the fact that Shadowverse Evolve in the West basically doesn't have anything. Shadowverse is built off esports and live streams and its online
yep,
presence. And I don't know if it's because uh, we're still waiting for Universe Worlds Beyond
probably.
or what, but it's like its interest just feels like it's just falling off a cliff. That could just
I
be
mean,
me, but it's like, or like the outside thing, but it's like just there's nothing to do for people, right? It's like unless you right, there's no way to build up the word of Shadowverse as a whole until Worlds Beyond comes out, which we got news that we're gonna get something in March about Worlds Beyond, which that's another point we'll talk about. But it's just kind of like the 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 feeling that like Bushiroad is pushing all this. I don't say pushing, more like Vanguard got a lot more open with like what it's trying to do, and yet
mm,
Weiss and Shadowverse to an extent are also just kind of sitting in the back, kind of like, hey, can we do something? And not like it's like you got it. Yeah, you said it feels like favoritism.
like I feel like Weiss is like in one's like really weird spots. At least Western side, right?
Hmm.
It's like it's always gonna play like second fiddle regionally,
Which is
just
crazy.
because like the matter of like licenses and whatnot.
That's true. That's another thing some people also point out. It's like,
Like, do you know how hard like Weiss would have been going like stateside if it was allowed to get all those Disney collabs?
oh, easy. But I can only assume it's one because Lorcana is probably just like uh blocking the
Yeah, but like
chain too.
Star Wars was like a thing for years, even before Lorcana was like even a thought in someone's head.
I mean, not just Lorcana, like Star Wars. I'm guessing
Yes,
whoever has Star
Destiny and
Wars
whatnot.
Destiny and Unlimited, which
But it's just like that's the one where I'm just like, like we could have had something there.
yeah. So that's kind of my thing is like I feel like the fact that Vanguard's just barely getting this now
Hmm.
when that should have been one of the key points early 2024. That should have been the main point of this of this BCS. Should have been,
Right.
yeah, we're going to promote the game hard. And if it isn't, when we get to starting about information about next this upcoming year's BCS, that in my opinion will be a big failure because this should
Think
have been the
so.
moment you push hard.
Like they need to lock in, yeah.
Yeah, locking in is important. Speaking of locking in, let me kind of go into like another point you brought up. Uh, Lorcana. I I feel like Lorcana also just kind of needs to lock in a little bit more. I have seen some things about it like not being as not being like 100%. There's a little things that could be like fixed up. I mean, I think it's just a lot of like companies that need to lock in. Again, like I said, I feel like 2026 will be the great culling of card games if they're just not careful.
Like another like 2020.
Like again, like Star Wars
Where, like
Unlimited.
out of nowhere, a bunch of games just like vanished.
Yeah. Like I feel like Star Wars Unlimited also just needs to be careful because you know
Oh yeah.
again like you just came
I
off the
mean, Star
heels
Wars
off
card
of
games
like
seem to be cursed.
back to back. Like you cannot. Please don't mess it up, right? I would like to have a nice
Yeah.
Star Wars, something good to happen to Star Wars for the first time in like a good 4 years, 4 or 5 years. Like I would like something positive coming out of Star Wars.
Right.
Um, Lorcana's there. Oh, you know what? We probably after we get through this whole discussion, we'll talk about the whole TCG player thing. But um,
Mm. I mean,
uh,
I'll just put something else out here, real like super quick blurb
all right.
for 2025. I'm pretty sure the Ultraman card game's not gonna make it out 2025.
Oh,
Like, not even like to be overly negative, but like in a realistic sense, right? Like, I just don't think like because it's not a Bandai game, which someone say is a good thing, but also means they just don't have like the reach to like pull something off, at least stateside, right?
mm,
So that's why I think like it might just be ones like Flash to depend like, hey, that was pretty neat for a while, licensed games.
I mean, I haven't played Ultraman. I, I should
It's
probably
unique.
try it, but I'm not. Again, I'm not really an Ultraman fan. I think that's the
I mean, the decks are cheap for at least the starter decks.
again if Hasbro locked in and said, you know what, and did during those whole Worlds Beyond stuff, made a Power Ranger set, that probably would have done a lot for
Right.
everything. Right. I
Like,
feel like
you know,
again, it's like I think in terms of like Western things that are just again just from outside looking in, I think most Toku it's pretty much like Sentai, Power Rangers, Kamen Rider, and an Ultraman.
yeah. I will say I'm kind of glad that like I don't have to live in the reality where like Hasbro got or like Saban or whatever got a hold of Ultraman.
I mean, we fortunately live in a reality
Like,
where Saban got control over Kamen Rider.
right? Because I'm just like, how the heck has Ultraman managed to stay completely independent for its entire run? Like, even with the English releases,
I don't know, but
like they even got the Australians to make an original season for them.
that's funny. You know what?
Malaysia
You
has its
talk about
own regional.
Ultraman not making it out of 2025. I'll be surprised if Godzilla even makes it out the first month of
Right.
2026. Like the fact that there's still nothing on that game, still. Like let me actually check right here on
Yeah.
let me check on Twitter. Like what's the yeah, that was
Latest.
announced in November. It's December, it's January. We don't have an actual date for it. Let me see if there's more info. Uh well, we'll probably know like next month. I mean this month because we do have a Bishop conference. That's probably when we'll get more info. I completely forgot about that.
Oh yeah, the winter conference. Yeah. I mean, if that's the only time they can like really like announce something for it
Yeah.
before people start calling it dead.
Yeah, but it's just like it is kind of like I don't get it. Uh, I don't know. It's just like I feel like that's again. I say this mostly because I feel like they just have like a out of a potential moneymaker off of Hololive, right? You have the
Right.
Hololive license. why on earth are you just not dropping
Or
the
are they
Hollow
not
card game
using
in the
it?
West? Right? Like, is it just like, is it like the Hololive like cover, whoever does Hololive, just saying no?
Meanwhile, like a bunch of VTubers are started their own card game now.
Yeah, like I saw that, I'm just like, like
I mean, why not, right?
I saw that, I'm just like, oh boy, like yeah, like you got independent
You,
VTubers through there. It's like,
like you guys jumping on the meta, man. It's your only chance to get your own card in a trading card game. Just do it already. We could do it. We could be the only VTuber TCG podcast around.
no,
Coward.
I'm not a coward.
Think of the marketing potential.
It implies that I would have to actually get a model, and I don't want that.
Just a model and a webcam. All you need.
Which I don't want. I don't want to be that.
But infinite power.
No. Anyway,
Alright.
let's see. What was I looking for? The heck is that? Oh, that's just on my thing. Yeah, just gonna see that. Yeah, I don't know if, once again, the obvious, like I'm still kind of like, Rebirth still has the mark of death over it, even though it's made it past 3 years.
Right. Like Rebirth's cool just for having like weirder collabs, but that's kind of it. Most you can say about it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that's kind of neat. Anyways,
All right. So, you got any other point?
let's see. I'm
Going
trying
back
to
over
think
your
of it.
old points or whatnot.
It's gonna be a pretty weird year for Magic the Gathering, that's for sure.
All right. Explain.
Like, we hit foundations, and it's like, cool, man, that was a great foundation for what Magic's gonna be. Too bad the rest of these years gonna be completely different.
Oh man, you actually kind
Like,
of.
we laid the ground.
It's so funny
And
because.
we laid the groundwork for a game that's not going to exist until maybe 2026.
Oh man, you
Like, what they could have done to be really
if
funny is
you
just
know, hold on,
me.
no. Well, when exists for 26, if we're lucky.
Right.
Because
If we're
I
lucky.
actually had MTG on here too. It was like, it was gonna be, you know what? They're just gonna say the quiet part out loud. The lore does not matter anymore. Because
Like, what I honestly would have done if I were in Watsu's place is like, I would have gone full anime for Foundations just to set the groundwork.
oh you would,
Like, get people prepped and ready for for Final Fantasy and everything else
bro.
coming.
People people were upset over the what was it, that those like super alts, which are more like
Right.
anime esque style.
I know.
And it's just like, bro, y'all are
Like, I'm just saying,
like, I get it. You
if
want more Western fantasy, and that's understandable. I completely get that, but
but also like we're getting like Final Fantasy and like a bunch of Marvel stuff and whatnot. Like, it's we're about to enter the high anime block for Magic. Like,
yo,
you may as well release like full like anime
I
set
mean,
for like
Final Fantasy is only like, Final Fantasy is anime, but like Marvel isn't really anime.
I mean, you get what I mean,
Now,
though, right?
granted,
Like a little,
now
like something a
granted,
little more cartoonic, I guess.
now granted, if you're
Or
talking
like,
about like stuff like Aether Drift, which is pretty much just
uh-huh.
like Aether,
Like we're getting
like
a racing set, we're getting Marvel, we're getting Spider-Man, we're getting Final Fantasy. You may as well just go all out for like a crazy set to start things off.
like like I think like this year is gonna be like the Magic Gathering fan base's Natlin, where it's like this don't make a lick of sense to the entire rest of the game, but they gotta
Right.
live with it or call it a day. All right, it's like you're gonna play Genshin Impact still after Natlin, and you don't like Natlin. It's like okay, we'll be prepared
Yeah.
because I don't know what Natlin's gonna do, but it's gonna whole thing. It's like because it was even funny because everyone stopped like you know what we're gonna be okay. We just have to hold off to Shania, and the leaks are coming out like oh Shania's not next. It's like we're doing something else. It's like
Wow. They really have been holding their shit's not over people's heads, haven't they?
it's like I think they only say Shania because they're like it's gotta be the next place, right? Like we
Right?
gotta
We gotta,
actually like
do all that Fatui quest line stuff, right?
we gotta actually talk about the Fatui, right? We gotta know who the actual like leader of that Archon is, right? Like it's
No.
totally going to be not Bronya, right?
Oh, please, no more Bronias.
Bronya is eternal.
Look, I'm just saying, my first day playing Honkai Impact 3rd, I pulled like 4 Bronias in a row.
The question is it going to be Bronya or Brownie?
Is that what we're calling the Bronya EX looking ones?
No, that's what I'm calling the Silver Wolf ones.
I like it like Bronya, Tall Bronya, Silver Wolf. Like we have 3 template Bronya designs.
We got Bronya, Adult Bronya,
Cyber Bronya.
and then Nerd Bronya.
Like what are we doing here?
It's kind of like it's like all the sabers. Like we got Saber, Red Saber, Blue Saber, Daughter Saber, Amazon Saber, Saber but man.
It's like what are we doing?
And
It's like we have Archer, Robin Archer, Archer that's left out in the sun for too long.
uh, now we've added what 3 different Alcos, Alco Azakis, cosplaying as Lancers. It's like they're the same thing. They're
Like
like
we gotta stop reusing.
both
We gotta stop with all these template characters.
both those Alco Lancers are literally the same thing. The only difference written by the actual like designer is like, oh no, one's boobs are bigger. One's boobs are bigger because one's an athlete, one isn't.
You know what's gonna happen? Like the Fate lore, I'm sure it's already probably happened.
It's even funny because I
Like
think
some servant is gonna write about himself and like meme himself into creating a split separate servant that's just him but cooler, and they're going to duke it out.
I mean it's funny because like I also heard something about like oh they plan to begin like the end game of FGO this year or something like that. It's like the main story is gonna end. It was like, yeah, right. I've been told that the Grand Blue Fantasy has been on its final Grand Blue Fantasy been on its final arc for 3 years. Also, that 3 years, and the only reason they haven't actually gone forward is that because they want to actually do events with the characters. And how can you do that when, as of right now, slight spoiler, almost every character except like 2 are dead from the main party.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, all right, well, that's cool. As long as my girl's around, right?
It's like, what is happening in gacha games at this
She's
point?
okay, right? You know, Catalina's okay, right?
Mhm.
Like I remember when the original Grand Blue Fantasy Versus came out, they were talking about like, oh, she got a power up that wasn't even seen in game. That wasn't even in game at the time when it got shown off.
Man, I remember when Grand Blue Fantasy was like the biggest gacha game for so long,
Now it's Love and Deep Space.
right?
It's like we're just like, how the heck that happened?
I mean, I know exactly how it happened.
Yeah, I saw that trailer.
I mean, not just that, but like, let's just think about it for a second, right? And
uh-huh.
like, here's the thing: like, Cartoon Network refused to accept, and that's why they ended up killing off a whole bunch of their stuff.
What?
Women spend a ton on merch and other stuff, and like, at no point have people actually figured out how to harness that in, like raw material, like Infinite Nikki and Love in Deep Space.
You mean just like, oh, you got one side is like, oh, there's a bunch of cute dress up,
There
and
was
the other
a
side
there
it's
was a well of infinite money, like right there,
yeah, it's like
and like
Infinite Nikki is
finally
the
people are
it's the
like,
side of women who are like, oh yeah, I want to play this cute cozy game where I get to dress up and all the stuff, right? And then the other side you got
right,
Love D Space like, oh I want a game where I'm playing an action game, but I can also probably get stroked down by some hot Korean dudes.
yep. And like we're gonna
like,
see, like I
like
watch, like
again,
in a few years, we're gonna get a really big, high budget, like furry gotcha
like
game, and
bro,
everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god, why is the furry gotcha game making even more than Love in Deep Space?" It's like,
like bro, I saw that trailer they have for the New Year's, the 3 year anniversary. Ain't no way that game's supposed to be rated 13 on the App Store. I mean,
bro,
it's got the same tier as Nikkei, and yet I ain't like listen. I know Nikkei got some
right?
freaky stuff, but bro, that trailer. Let's just say this. I saw a movie.
We're just showing the sex now.
It's like,
Okay,
bro, I'm like, bro, that you were like one pan down away from just showing the main character getting back shots. You cannot be
right.
back shots on the window. You
It's
cannot
like, wait,
tell me this is a game that is for 13 plus. Also,
wait,
apparently
that's
it's been
allowed?
dubbed. Yeah, I'm just like 13 plus, and the main character like you riding on the boys. You getting you basically getting back shots. Like, nah, you can't be doing this on
Like,
your.
like,
What's
like
even
it's just,
it's even crazy because
I guess,
like I also found out there that was like, oh, it's actually dubbed too. So they actually just have just these guys in
oh,
English talking to them.
okay.
Freaky. Okay.
See, like, Love in Deep Spaces, go off.
It's like, you know what? Yeah, y'all can do it, bro. Y'all good.
Yeah, go off, King. Whatever.
Like you made 70 mil in November. I'm like 70 mil. Oh no,
Alright.
70 mil is crazy. Anyway, see
Like, Miho was
this is
like,
why the podcasts are like over 2 hours long. We just talk about random shit.
I mean, isn't the best part about a podcast?
That's true, but I had this idea where we started the podcast. Like at points, we like kind of get all the stuff, funny stuff out the way, and then we go into actual, true conversation. But
Well, see,
now
like, here's what you failed to
we've hit more
realize.
tangents and everything. We were talking about Magic the Gathering basically being weebified.
Yeah, so here's what you failed to realize. This is Castle Super Beast. You're Wooly in this.
So you're a short ginger.
No, but I've harnessed the full powers of crazy talk to my advantage.
So is this the part where you're gonna say Superman is bad?
No, I'm gonna say Superman's great, and every interpretation of Superman's bad.
Okay.
Like baseline Superman's pretty cool. But like people, it's the same issue Batman has, right? Like they want to take the goofiness out of Superman and Batman all the time. But those are like core to their characters, or it's like, we gotta make Superman more serious and whatnot because like he's too strong or whatever. It's like, just stop. He's just a boy from Kansas.
He's a boy from Kansas with superhuman powers. Like
That's it.
it's like
Stop trying to do much more.
it's like you want to make his stories like super dark. Like you can do that, but his main thing is supposed to be like
Deep and mythological and whatnot.
you know, like that's what things like you made him like the whole thing is like
Also, on that
what was
note, we
that
need to get
what was the saying I heard? It's like Marvel is like like
humans trying.
humans trying to be gods, and in DC is gods trying to be human.
Live among humans. Yeah, and that pretty much describes it.
Which, speaking of which, what do you think that final? I'm probably gonna say. I think I'll say, yeah. Like we still got one more unannounced Universe Beyond set. I think that's the crazy part. Is like they didn't even announce what the Universe Beyond set is, but they already have like 2026's main content set for Magic is, which is the set they delayed to make this entire thing happen.
Honestly, if it's a DC set somehow,
You know, I thought something completely funny that would be insane. It's not gonna happen because
what?
it would require once again someone particular to lock in. But I'm like, what would be the one thing that probably make people crash out and make the Magic Gathering player base crash out? I'm like, what if the actual reveal is actually uh the next Universe Beyond is Cardfight Vanguard.
No, that's not Crash Out tier. That's what the fuck tier. I think the Crash Out tier is probably either Fortnite or Yu-Gi-Oh.
I mean, they've already done technically Fortnite.
Yeah, but like an
No, no,
actual
no, no,
full
no,
on
no, no.
Fortnite
Here we
main,
go. Here
like
we
a
go. Here we go.
mainline Fortnite
Nah,
set in standard.
wait. They do like the Isekai Quartet.
Oh no.
Yeah, you got ReZero, Overlord, Sao, Bishoku Tensei, just a whole superset. It's over.
Oh gosh. Wait, no, it's Kamigawa 3, but it's just a bunch of characters from other anime series. And it still counted as a Kamigawa block set.
There are no.
Return to Kamigawa. And the first thing you see is Naruto.
Do 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 do.
There's the crash out moment. It's they turn Kamigawa into the anime plane for real.
It's like here's your planeswalker Naruto Uzumaki. No, even worse, Boruto.
Nah, it's gonna be Goku for the Planeswalker.
No, I'm talking about if we're just starting Kamigawa just as like Naruto, or not Kamigawa as Naruto, you just do Boruto only. You just do Boruto time skip only. That'll make everyone upset. It's like
Like there were so many ways for things to get worse for Magic, and I love it.
like I've seen so many videos just talking about, man, 2012 are gonna suck for Magic. Like I just do not vibe with it, and it's just like one is like I hope like like everything, and like I understand like like Universe Beyond. I just hope the sets are balanced enough to make sure you
Right.
pay
You know what's
off
fun?
that.
You know, I
Steam thing.
remember. Like I remember arguing with like Hunter Surge over like crossover sets being a good thing for every single game, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't care how bad Magic gets. I'm not changing my opinion. I don't care. Crossover good.
I mean, I think it's good in moderation. I
You know, we
think the
gotta go
problem
full
is Magic.
accelerationism.
Yeah, it's like the problem is like Magic the Gathering just kind of said this is the only way we stay alive. When it's like, no, it's not.
Right.
But it's like, oh, we're not talking about us. We're gonna be fine. We're talking about Hasbro. We got to keep those motherfuckers afloat. They still ain't paid off what they sold Saban. Like I was like, man, it's like I've never seen a Western company be in this down bad for money.
Oh my god, I just remembered something.
What?
So the one time Super Riot did work with Saban on something. Gridman. Like they made one deal with Saban like one time, and afterwards they're like, nah, we're done here. Like that's funny. So we'll give you Gridman. Shoot, you're not touching Ultraman. No.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least we got a cool enemy out of it afterwards.
I mean, okay.
You, I don't know.
All
But
right.
yeah, like Hasbro is a mess right now. I mean, I bet they were going canceling that Transformers card game. If I have to see Slicer in one more Commander game, I'm going to lose it. I hate that card so much.
Yeah. All right. Uh.
Another prediction I have for like the next year.
All right.
I'm gonna say Gabriel is dead. I'm gonna be wrong again, like I have been every single year now.
I mean, how do you keep? I mean, what exactly would change this time?
Oh, I mean, true. I mean, I didn't expect someone else to take over publishing and like distributing the game from Makeda. So maybe that's just like the end of it, right? It's like shoot, he actually figured things out, went back to being strictly just a game designer, and as learned his lesson. I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. It's like, why won't this game die? Like, I just wanted to be done with, all right? Like, close a chapter in my life, and I can't.
It ain't gonna go until Ikeda makes it go.
He almost did. And then he got bailed out by China, so I'm like, fine, whatever. The game's eternal, actually. I was wrong. I was wrong for doubting it. Right. And that's what I get.
Mm.
It was the game that could.
It's more like the game that won't stop.
Right. Just honestly, yeah, impressive. So, maybe something crazy will happen. Like, maybe the chaotic reboot will finally happen for real. Like, that'd be funny. Right?
Mm.
It's
Well,
like, oh man, wait, we forgot you were a thing. And then out of nowhere.
yeah. All right. So, uh, hmm. Oh yeah, I got one. The
Yeah.
chaotic reboot's gonna be called Dead.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's just no way it's actually coming. Like, it's been too long. You're already trying to revive something that's kind of just past its prime. If now I could be completely cooked wrong and be like told, oh no, actually it's still gonna happen. But
Like, here's the crazy thing though about it, like it was ahead of its time.
yeah,
And like in some aspects still has potential to be, but like I feel like they're also like hard set in like we're gonna keep things exactly the same way things were, which is probably what doomed it immediately for the idea. So they want to keep it the same. But yeah, like I think it's dead in the water. Like how many people care about chaotic still?
I mean, so you know what? Speaking of caring, I was gonna bring it up when we talked about Wishroom, but now let's bring it up here. Probably is my final point for right now.
Hmm.
Uh, I think the wait for Showers of Evolve probably is just kind of cooked that game. I mean, not Showers of Evolve. The wait for Showers Worlds Beyond is probably just cooked that game's popularity.
Probably.
Like, if it had, I think one thing is like, okay, if you want to delay it, that's fine. But you effectively delayed it like an almost entire year and a half to the point where
Like
like
too long to
to the point where the content creators would just run out of things to do.
talk about.
Yeah, it's like there's not enough things to do. All you've got really and no like real like big thing. And then not only that, you made the announcement on a stream where you're supposed to get big news that people were waiting like months for. Sorry, you
Oh,
messed that up. Then you don't have any content. Current Shadowverse is like in a thing. You're kind of like in this Overwatch 2 situation. Not as bad because Overwatch 2 is basically like to like 3+
but
years.
similar.
It's similar. It's like when you're making a sequel to a game while the old game is still around as a live service.
Right.
When you don't
You might
have
want to keep
content to
supporting the old
do,
one.
when you don't have content to actually place
Right.
because you weren't ready to immediately go in that transition,
To move on.
like that sucks. Because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, now it's like you could have put that content into here and at least like warmed up and like got some feedback, right? Like even if it's not like a new thing, maybe like a new set, maybe like a new thing, something, anything. Like I think they released like I think they did like one more like uh extra set, but it's like who like you gotta love Shadowverse to still want to be playing that game right now. Like you gotta
Right.
be Igni and Potanko and all them to still be wanting to log in, play some Shadowverse, and still love that game. But for a casual, they moved on,
Yep.
and it's like that's why I'm like you that trailer.
I,
That
I mean,
information you're showing, you gotta be ready to. You gotta hit the ground running the second you show that stuff in
I
March.
kind of moved on when I had to stop doing all my artifact portal shenanigans in standard. Like I love playing Yu-Gi-Oh and Shadowverse. Like sue me.
Yeah, but it's like no, it's like you gotta like side games. You gotta hit the ground running to make sure Shadowverse Worlds Beyond is the hit you want it to be.
Like side games is such a weird company.
Side games is a weird company, bro. I got a company I could talk to you about. And I got a company you could talk about. You can play their game tomorrow. Most
Yeah, but I
unserious.
mean like they're, but I just mean like their business strategies and whatnot, right? Like look at all the anime and stuff. Like, sorry, give me one sec. I need to take a break. They'll finish this point in like a minute.
Okay, you back?
Yep, but let's see about side games, right?
Yes.
Like they just throw stuff at the wall to see what sticks. Like even more than Bushro does, it feels like. Now card games for like everything. Like they're an interesting kind of directionless. I think that's maybe their biggest problem, especially like stuff like Worlds Beyond. Like it's just like, yeah, we're gonna reboot Shadowverse. It's like why?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
And then it just takes forever. Like they're directionless. They just throw money at the wall and see what happens. So we're gonna take Shadowverse, gonna make a regular Yu-Gi-Oh like anime for instead of a lore anime, and just make a whole spin-off based on that, pretty much. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Also, we're gonna reboot Shadowverse afterwards. It's like, why?
Oh,
And it just keeps
you mean
going.
how like they did Shadow? You mean how like they did had Shadowverse, then they made Flame, which had like their bunch of their own OCs that weren't even in the
Uh-huh.
main game. That was also
Right.
just bad. And then you wait a year, you keep going, then Flame comes out, which is pretty much heavily praised, and then
Right.
you then still don't have your own OCs, but you've also started Evolve as your own paper version of the game, which is basically a reboot of Shadowverse in paper.
Uh-huh.
And now you've done that, but now you also now are effectively rebooting Shadowverse again, but now you've delayed it by almost a year. And
Like they're just throwing stuff out.
yeah,
And like meanwhile they're trying everything they can with Grand Blue.
which I mean, I think Grand Blue is fine, but I think like for people who just want to play the gotcha game and just stuck in like MSQ Gulag,
Right.
who are just like, can we finally conclude the story now or something? You know, it's torture, right? One thing's just like, man, that's kind of one of the things I kind of fear if like Nikkei ever gets to that point where it's just like, man, I'd love to kind of see how the story ends, but I'm stuck here at the beach for the 80th time. It's like, okay,
Like Niki's gonna be interesting, like if / when it like starts branching out in the other markets.
I mean,
Like I'm gonna be intrigued to see what happens there.
it's gonna be interesting because I feel like,
Like Silver Blade could have easily just been like said like a Nikkei side game at the end of it after a title drop.
yeah, it's kind of the thing is like, it just feels like an AU Nikkei, like an alternate universe Nikkei.
Right.
Like it's trying to be near automata, but it's like it's also just you just think about it, it's like it's also
Like
just
just
like
say, oh yeah, a game's in the same universe as Nikkei, and then like
now
everyone would have lost their minds. Like that would have been like the perfect chance for
no
them.
here's the problem though, it's like it can't. Like they would have to literally just like it would have to have been like a sequel or something because I don't know how you because just Nikkei lore is like so I don't say tight, but like there's not a lot of wiggle room to be like, oh, here's a whole other
Right.
faction
I
from
get it.
space that apparently like was just unknown. Right? It's like if this is like
Uh,
so it's like it feels like they wanted to do their own near automata, but and also just kind of like a piece of Nikkei stuff, but it's like there's no way you can do that. Which is why I'm just like I have no idea how you're going to do this Stellar Blade crossover at all. I'll be honest. I can't see an actual angle
right.
because there's only one like fighter in the protagonist group to bring out. That means you now have to bring in you like you're basically bringing in like Dante and the equivalent of Dante and Virgil into the Nikkei verse, and it's like one of them will definitely be a crash out. Like I don't know what this is gonna do, especially after you've gone this whole thing where like everybody's complaining about how your collab stories have sucked or been mediocre at best. So it's like ain't no way you going. There's like not only is like eyes on how you deal with an Eva Part 2, but also eyes are kind of on for like people who like care about story bits and writing and stuff. It's gonna be also on how you write the Stellar Blade collab too, because it's like you don't
Mm,
have anything to kind of mess with. This is your IP. If you can't write a good story with your own IP, something's wrong.
Right.
It's like, how is every other content in the game borderline fire, but the IP you made in collaboration with your gotcha game is going to be probably could be one of the worst things in the game. Obviously, it's going to be just how like Nier Automata was, which is like nobody, people who play the game, pick up the game for the 2 weeks, who roll for Eve, get her, and it's like how to see her cheeks clap and then turn off the game, don't even care about the story or anything. Like they just want to see Eve booty cheeks clap, like just how they want to see 2B's booty cheeks clap. They're not here
Right.
for they're not here for a long time, just a good time. And like, but it's like they could be here for a long time if you gave them a
Right.
reason to be there.
If. That's a big if.
It's like it shouldn't be an if, but the way you've gone a borderline 0 for 4 on how your stories have gone. Like Chainsaw Man was a literal nothing burger. Nier Automata was cool, but it was 50-50 on depending on what you thought was good. Because really, a lot of people say like the best part of the collab was the A2 segment.
Like,
ReZero was literally just another May Cafe event. Because
alright,
again,
so
they
I
had
think collabs are in like a weird spot right now for your mobile games, right?
okay,
Because like, you have the old days like mobile games, right? You're like Puzzle and Dragons and like some other like, lighter games. Not super story heavy and whatnot.
mm-hmm.
Where like you could totally just like throw in like justify some pretty cheap filler and whatnot.
Yeah, it was like you're only really curious that you have those little
But
things.
now,
Like they're not gonna be a thing. But now
right, the game has changed entirely.
yeah.
And like I'm pretty sure the Alloy like collab for Genshin Impact kind of like was the death knell for the random one and done like haha collab of the old era.
I still don't know what the hell happened there. It's just,
Like it literally is gonna take until this year now for another collab to happen in a MiHoYo game.
I mean,
Like we went like 5 years for like another collaboration basically.
from outside Mihoyo, you mean? Because
Yeah, from outside MiHoYo, yeah.
yeah,
Like something happened there. And of course now there's like rumors of like Tekken being a collab in Zenless.
Tekken being a collab with Zenless would be crazy.
I don't want to figure out how to execute an Electric Wind God Fist again. I'm not doing it. I'm not running those inputs, man.
I mean, I don't think you'll be able to have to do those. Speaking of fighting games and collabs, earlier today, like Naraka
I
Blade
mean, you
Point,
say that, but like
no, but
Nicole
like
has a
Naraka
360
Blade
input.
Point announced the King of Fighters collab, and I'm like, damn, I kind of want to actually play the game because they also added like a
Look,
mode, basically
I
like
played
a
Naraka a few
fighting game
times. It's
mode.
pretty dang fun.
They also added like a 2v2 like kind of fighting game mode, and I'm like, oh, this
Wait, they did? Oh
kind
shoot!
of more like an
Dang,
arena fighter, but I'm like, oh, that might be cool.
I might have to hop on Naraka again.
After tomorrow.
Right. I know. Don't worry.
But yeah, I think I'm kind of
See,
spent on.
like I just feel like collabs are in a weird spot for games.
Yeah,
Like now you have to like have a big story and whatnot and everything, and drag them into the wider world to actually like proper story integration and whatnot.
and then also
Like this,
explain why they're either a not going to be there anymore.
like the
Which
standards are
to be
way
fair,
higher now.
Nikkei does have. They literally have a mechanic. I said this again. It's like they literally have a special boss, which is like, oh, when it goes to
Which is
sleep,
kind of funny because like,
it creates its
what
own
was it,
like
Super Bowl 30?
yeah.
for like all of its DLC in Super Mario 30. It's like, oh, yep, sorry, a random time portal like opened up and like these characters from a different universe popped in accidentally, and like, oh, okay, like just an in-universe gotcha system. It just randomly plops people in. And they're all like, man, I can't wait to go back home. It's like, sorry, Mika, you're stuck here for a while. At least I got Orga.
That's a lie. They ain't put no IBO in there.
Yeah, IBO's DLC in Super Wars 30.
Ah, okay.
Season 1 and Season 2, actually.
About time.
Right?
Man.
But that was pretty fun. No, the
What?
Soccer Wars one was weird. That was wild, finally, to get.
Man, I wonder what would happen if they did like a Super Robot Wars, but just for Gundam. Where it's like you just have all these storylines about all these characters coming in after their stories.
Uh,
Like a mix of like you have all the characters that survived their series, and then like something happens where it's like the worlds collect, and then the characters that
there were
died
actually a
come
few
back.
games. There were a few games like that, actually.
Like that would be kind of crazy. Also, give me another Dynasty Warriors Gundam game.
I think it was like, shoot, it was some of the older G generation games.
But
Maybe Advance.
like I said it because I would find that funny. It's like, oh man, you got Soletta walking around with a cane, having to deal with Mika who's just revived.
Oh wait, there is an. I mean, there's an action game that's kind of similar
And
with
then
that
you
premise.
also have to be like, oh, Mika also gets to be his kid. While Atra
I think
is,
that might be SD Gundam Battle Alliance, actually.
and then he gets to see Atra actually like taller than him.
Gosh.
That's gonna be crazy. He finds out his baby mama married another woman. His baby mama married someone else, who is also his, which is also his tentacle girlfriend. His tentacle girlfriend too.
Man, that was that. I still know what they were smoking with that entire plot.
I don't know either. It's just like I just think about more and more. I'm like, what?
Like I just come out of IBO like, yeah, Gaelio was probably the best character.
Like he kind of was. He was the best living character.
Right.
Like, because Gudelia gets sidelined, and everyone else dies. Like everyone else, cooler either dies or gets sidelined. Like I saw again. This kind of came random Gundam spoiler thing. I'm sorry, all Gundam spoilers. But I saw how the manga did Orga. I'm like, damn. It just made me think, damn, Orga should have been with Cordelia. That would have
Yeah.
been a much better plot line.
Oh, that would have actually made sense. Yeah.
Because like Maribit, whatever, that's cool. But it's like that whole thing is weird. Because the fact that he
That,
did
that one was funny. It's like, oh wait, nope, no, never mind. Yeah, it's kind of weird with the age gap. Yeah. Oh yeah, mechanic guy. Actually,
Oh yeah,
he's been around for a while. Yeah, he
yeah,
cool.
he can get in there.
All right, like,
It's like,
you know what, Team Mom and Team Dad. There we go.
but
That fixes
yeah, it's
that
just like,
mess.
that's a good. Hold on, let me write that down. Let me write that down for like potential video ideas. Orga should have been with Kudelia.
Oh, already revving up for the next Gundam episode.
No.
Because add to the list of topics for that one. Age gets way too much hate.
I would have to watch Age to really understand that a lot more.
Fair.
There's still some more Gundam series to see. Yeah,
I mean,
I just think about
that's the
more.
thing
I'm just
about
like,
Gundam,
damn.
right? Like, it's infinite podcast material, honestly.
Yeah, I just really think about like, damn. Oregon Cordelia would have been an actual like interesting pairing because to see how their views like correlate in season two.
You know, you're right. Like
Something.
Mika and Kadoya feels like the most like forced. Like Mika's the protagonist. There's got to be another love interest
You know,
kind of
Mika's
deals.
protagonist, he's got to end up with the princess, even
Right.
though Lauron
That's the Gundam
didn't
rules.
end up with the princess either. Yeah, yeah. How did now I think about it? Considering how
I mean, it's funny
turn
because
A
like
ends, how on earth, how did the Charcone end up with the with the girl?
right.
It's like that's the crazy
And,
part. It's like, wait, what?
and then you have all double O ends and like Setsu becomes like alien god messiah. It's like, man, Marina's still pretty great at 60 years old, huh?
Yeah, Cecil looks good at 62. Look like he ain't a day aged over 20.
Right.
Oh my god. Okay.
And they tried to set Session up with like so many characters throughout Double O. It's kind of ridiculous if you look back at it.
Yeah, it's just like the potential Nina ship was crazy. I'm like,
Felt.
it felt was
And
cute.
man, I feel so bad about Lock on. Anyway, hindsight's enough.
Yeah, it's like
God.
I don't know. I think
Like Double O was is like such a weird show in hindsight.
yeah, and
Also, I kind of like how they explain what the heck happened between season 1 and season 2, and like why things got so crazy with the A laws.
I mean it's the same. It's basically the same reason why things got crazy with uh Gallahorn. Same reason things got crazy with
Yeah,
uh
but
the Titans, right? It's like they weren't
well,
regulated right.
yes, but like the person behind it was was a celestial being member trying to out Ribbons as the main bad guy, and he did like some super crazy false flag operation trying to crash a bunch of meteors into Earth, and
Should we?
had the different pretty not the effect he wanted, to put it lightly.
Mm-hmm. I should probably watch Double O one day.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, buy G Generation Cross Rays just so you can experience all the side story stuff for Double O, or at least some of it.
Wait, hold on. I'm trying to think here. Let me double check this real quick. I think I already have G Generate Crossways. I
Oh,
have a G Generation, I think. Hold on, let me check real quick.
I'm checking right now. You do not actually.
Then what do I have then?
Probably Battle Alliance.
It's Self Gun Revolutions here somewhere. Uh, the I could swear I had something like this. Oh, I guess I don't. Huh. Okay. Well,
Oh yeah, let me fix that right now. Gonna be a Steam key, not like an actual like Steam purchase. Like screw that, because the game's currently only $9 right now.
okay.
Oh, 20 for the deluxe edition. Oh,
I didn't even give you the deluxe edition.
right. Oh wait, no, that's out of stock for the deluxe edition. Anyway, yeah, here's the main game. It's still gonna give you like a ton of content. Let me
Oh,
just do this right now.
that.
Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna message you the Steam keys for these. Make it easier on myself.
All right. Well, anyway, I think that's pretty much we're out of topic for today. Plus, we've gone
Yeah,
for like
I mean,
almost 3 hours, and once
not
again,
much left unless you want to start some random tangents again.
that be for like a different episode. I'm more
Right.
so just kind of want to get up early so I can go to Bowser Saga's funeral. So, what you got planned for the break?
uh, I don't know. I guess tomorrow I'm playing some Trails of game. And then after that, I don't know.
Well, we'll see.
Probably something on Sunday.
We'll see depending on how it goes. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to. I'm gonna need you to stream this game too. Actually,
all right, that's fine.
where are you on Steam? Oh, there you are.
But anyway, for me, I'm going to probably do that update video for the channel, and then also, yep, that was the thing that happened. Do a update video for the channel to
All
kind of
right,
go.
and sent. Cool. Enjoy your 300-hour game.
YouTube. But yeah, that and then I think the next thing should be probably work on kind of my video essay on like why it feels like card game anime is just faded away.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty good topic in its own.
Yeah, that one, and then I also want to finally work on this. Quickly work on this. What was yeah, work on something else too. But that's pretty much all I got for at least till next time. Hopefully, I drop more than one video in the time period, so that could be something. All right. Well,
Hopefully.
yep. Well, that is pretty much it for this episode of Out of Pocket. Uh, Once again, you can find
Yeah.
us on the brand new Blue Sky account for the game. I mean, for the podcast. Which is just OOP TCG podcast. You can find us on our normal socials, anywhere you see, they're always down in the description.
Right.
And we will see you. Our next regularly scheduled episode will be on Friday the 17th. Barring
And
any.
hey, you may see us on Twitter picking some fights with people. Don't worry about it.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, hold on. Anyway, that is it for this episode of the Out of Pocket TCG podcast. Thank y'all so much for watching. We'll see y'all next time.
Yep.